Hi, my name is Linda Tolucci, and my heaviest weight was 299.8 pounds, and now I weigh 149.4. I hadn't thought about having kids when I was younger, and so when I did have them, I went all in. And they were my everything, and so I sort of put me in the background, and they became my priorities and my priority, and so it was everything for them, and I didn't look after myself. So I would do drive-through, I would do box food, processed things, stuff from the freezer. That's the kind of things that I would eat. My worst day, though, was there's a really cool place called the Hopewell Rocks, and there was a sign at the top that said it's about 300 to 500 steps down. And so I thought about it, and it was a warm day, and I thought, I'm not going to be able to do that. I can't get back up. It'll be too hard for me. And so my 3 friends went down, and I could see them, and my friend Laura, who's got a huge big laugh, I could hear her, and they were laughing and joking and running around on the ocean floor, and they were taking pictures, and I stood up top, and I tried not to cry, which I'm trying not to cry now. And I said to myself 2 words: it's time. It's time. I can't do this anymore. I'm not gonna live to see my kids have their own kids. But when I got home, actually, from the trip, I stepped on the scale for the first time in many, many, many years. And it said 300 pounds. That Christmas, my sister bought me my very first Fitbit. And I put it on, and I joined a group of women, and a couple of men, actually, from our group. And before I knew it, I was down 82 pounds, and I was getting compliments, and people were saying, "Oh my God, you look so great." It was a week before Christmas, December 18th. I'll never forget the date. It was very cold. And I took my hands and I tucked them up under my underarms like this to get them warm. I felt a lump, which, if I hadn't have lost that 82 pounds, my breasts were very dense because, you know, as a bigger woman, I wouldn't have found that lump, but I did. And it was breast cancer. And a lot of things were out of my control for the next 8 to 10 months. And I am now, thankfully, cancer-free. But when you are on treatment, you get steroids. And steroids, as everyone knows, makes you put a lot of weight on. And they don't care about weight. When you're going through treatment, you have to weigh. They don't want you to lose weight. So yeah, no, I got fat cancer. That's what I tell everyone. I actually gained back almost all of the 82 pounds. And I thought, okay, you're gonna live. This is not the end of the world, and you need to start again. So I get asked a lot what I do for exercise, and one of my favorite things to do is simply walk. I started very slowly with my workout routine. I started with maybe 1,000, 2,000 steps, and now I'm up to between 30 and 40,000 steps a day. And we started with Zumba. And then after Zumba, I needed to, do some strength training, so I added a boot camp. And then I started to get into the pool. And actually the pool is what's helping my definition in my arm. It's really good for you. You don't think, Aquafit for little old ladies? Oh, It is a good workout. My height weight, I've lost 150, so literally half of your body. Wow. I'm just really active and present, and I just have a lot of confidence now, and it's been life-changing for me.
My name is MARSHA Parker, and at my heaviest weight, I was 290 pounds, and I'm currently 135 pounds. My weight gain really began, I would say, after I gave birth. I could only afford a certain amount of organic food, so I made certain that my little girl ate the healthy organic foods, and whatever was left over, I used them myself, and it happened to be for like junk food or unhealthy foods. At my heaviest, my self-esteem was really low. I think I was a little bit depressed. I didn't feel good about my weight. I didn't want to be seen in pictures. When my little girl came to me, because she was concerned about my health, and she told me, she said, I'm worried about you. I see that I'm eating healthy and you're not. Like, why is this the case? And I would wake up in the middle of the night with headaches because of my high blood pressure. And she like pleaded with me to eat healthy so that I would be healthier for her. I had to make that connection that my daughter's well-being was equated with my well-being. From that point, I decided to find the best workout that would make me sweat a lot. So I looked online. I found out about cardio kickboxing. And also I changed my eating habits. I threw away all the junk food in the house, started drinking more water. I invested in a blender, started drinking more smoothies and also eating clean. My weight loss was steady. I was able to lose weight. I was able to lose 70 pounds in about 7-8 months and 100 pounds within a year. I could walk without running out of breath. I could run around with my little girl. I reached the plateau in terms of losing, and I could not get past 100 pounds lost. I kept running and nothing was changing. From that point, I started weightlifting. And once I started weightlifting last July, it made the difference. So I was able to get from 100 pounds lost to 165 pounds lost. Weightlifting is a big part of my life. It's changed my relationship with food because I understand that I need protein, I need carbs, I need fats because they do their function in order to make me healthy and build the muscles that I need so that I can have the proper metabolism and I can look the way that I want to. So I realized that food is not a thing that I restrict, but it's a thing that helps me to fuel my body. Losing weight and becoming stronger has definitely changed my relationship with my little girl. We do more together. We have different conversations about health and fitness, and we just spend more time together. I mean, we spent time together before, but we spend more time together actively. That's helped us a lot, and just her view of me, like her perspective of me, just means a lot because she sees where I've come from, and she knows that I did it for her. So that's been great.
I'm SHAWNA TINDAL. My heaviest weight was 340 pounds and my current weight is 175 pounds. So when I was young and growing up, I would hide food and I would even sneak out at night, which terrifies me as a mom to think about this. I would buy things like pints of ice cream and the burritos at 7-Eleven, Cheetos. I would go and get pizza, eat entire pizzas by myself. It's funny, I never really knew how much I weighed, to be honest, because we did have a scale in our house, but I remember distinctly it only went up to 280, and so I never really knew how much I weighed for a long time until I did have to have a physical before I started 9th grade for high school. And I remember writing down in my journal that it was 332 pounds, but definitely by my senior year of high school, I was most likely at my heaviest. And so through college, little by little, I started losing weight. I was tracking my food more, I was walking more, I was very focused on walking each day, and just over the course of years, lost about 25 pounds each year. With my first pregnancy, I was definitely nervous to actively put on weight. I put on 40 pounds with that pregnancy. Is this going to be difficult to lose? And I just approached it like I had always approached weight loss, that it's not going to come off as fast as I want it to. It took me almost a year to lose that weight, but it wasn't a difficult process. It was an enjoyable process. I felt healthy, I got stronger, and I ended up losing more weight than I had put on with the pregnancy. And once I realized that, I thought, pregnancy is not a problem. I can enjoy any pregnancy I had, and I did so with my 2 other children as well. One of my favorite things is working out. I don't work out every day. I work it into my family's schedule, but I am very consistent about my workouts, and I just enjoy them because they're my time. I enjoy participating in Orange Theory Fitness. I was very nervous about joining. I was intimidated. I would walk at first, and then I started jogging and lifting heavier weights, and now it's really just an enjoyable workout for me.
Today, the kids got to pick out some of their favorite food items.
I think about my kids when I'm making my food choices because I have these 6 eyeballs on me all the time. So when I'm talking to my young kids, I talk about, well, let's pick out some colors for our meal, because chances are if you're gonna have a colorful plate, you're gonna get some fruits and vegetables in there. I want them to enjoy eating and enjoy the fellowship that eating brings, and having those relationships, and enjoying food for what it is and not for what it's not. So enjoy the food for the relationships that it builds and having meals together, and then stop as you're getting full and just enjoy the conversation and don't worry about the food.
My name is Laura CALBERT, and my heaviest was 407 pounds, and now I am 190 pounds. So in high school, I was at least almost 200 pounds. I was tall, but I was, always the biggest. I was binge eating. I had serious issues with that. That's when my weight started really picking up, my early 20s. I tried all kind of things as far as weight loss goes. You name it, I tried it except for surgery. And I've lost weight, but after a while, it just started to pick up more and more and more. I had a small heart attack. When I was at the hospital, the doctor told me exactly what I already knew, that it was time for me to get my stuff together and get in order. And yet and still, I still was doing whatever the hell I wanted to do. I didn't stop eating the foods that I wanted to eat, drinking, and just kept doing it. I was feeling depressed, not even caring if I, woke up the next day. My turning point was when there was this little girl in the grocery store. She told her dad, "Look, Daddy, she's fat." And it just, I don't know, it was just something about her saying that. It was just like something just clicked. It was like, Laura, you got to do something. I joined a program online. I felt like that support and having that support was what was gonna help me this time around, and it did. But I got in a car accident during my weight loss journey, and that kind of, set me back. I wasn't able to work out. I had a brace. It messed with my mind more than anything because I was so used to working out and stuff like that. Like, you fear, gaining your weight back. It's like, I'm not gonna be able to work out. Can't do anything for myself. So that was, something, it didn't stop me. And I don't want people to feel like things happen in their lives and they have to completely stop and quit on themselves, because they don't have to. It took me 3 years to get to where I am now. Initially, it was just cardio. Like I was doing Zumba and, all that, but what happened was I lost a lot of my lean muscle with doing that. I got to a point where I wasn't losing as much, and I was just stagnant, stuck, and I didn't know, exactly why. So I started incorporating weights and changing my diet. Nutrition totally changed, and I was still able to, then I started losing again, and my body started to, look the way I desired it to look. I'm at the gym for about 5-6 times a week for about an hour and a half. I started my own business in the summer. So now I'm actually helping women. I do accountability coaching. I teach them how to track their food. I create personalized meal plans and workout regimens for them. And I also help them, coach them through mental, barriers through weight loss. I never would have thought that I would be my passion would be fitness and helping people with fitness. I never would have thought that, but with me on my journey, it just transpired, blossomed. I really feel like I went through the things that I went through as far as my weight to help others.
Hi, I'm Shelly Johnson. My heaviest weight was 304 pounds. I currently weigh 130 pounds. I started using food when I was really young as a way to make myself feel better, or if I didn't want to feel anything, and I turned to it for comfort. And I did that throughout my childhood. It was my friend when I needed a friend. It was the way that I soothed myself when I was upset. And I used food in order to help myself deal with my life. I think I was yo-yo dieting for at least 20 years. I would pretty much try anything, and anything that anybody told me to do, I would give it a shot. And I remember eating rice cakes and lettuce for about a month. Rice cakes, lettuce, and water, and that was about it. And of course I lost weight, but the minute I started eating normal foods again, I gained it all back. I would lose 70 pounds and gain 85 pounds. It got untenable at one point. I didn't want to keep living like that. And so one day in my journal, I wrote, if it's not about the food, then what is it? And that's what started my journey. And then eventually that turned into a book that I wrote called Start Where You Are, Weight Loss. And it's about my journey, and it's also about helping people see what they need to do in order to have permanent weight loss. I use exercise now as something to keep me strong. I don't use it anymore as a way to burn calories. That's how I used to look at it, and I don't look at it that way anymore. I lap swim, and that's meditative for me, so I really enjoy that. I do yoga for the same reason, it's meditative. And I train in Krav Maga martial arts, which is lovely. It's self-defense, but it's also a huge stress relief to beat up a bag for an hour a few times a week, so that's fantastic. I started something called intuitive eating, which is when you eat when you're hungry and you stop when you're full. There's no calorie counting, there's no restrictive foods, and that's actually what saved me and stopped the crazy making thinking. Because the dieting and the restrictive dieting especially was making me absolutely crazy. The minute I got told I couldn't have bread or chocolate or some other kind of food that I really enjoyed, then I would be focused on that, and it made me crazy. When I first started intuitive eating, I would track my weight, and what I realized is that I didn't always lose weight every week. Sometimes I actually gained weight, and that was hard for me to keep going because I thought, well, maybe it's not working. But what I realized is once I started tracking what my body was doing, I just had to calm down because my body was just going through normal patterns. It was about trusting my body and trusting myself. And the amazing thing now is that before I would binge days, weeks, months, and I would gain all the weight back. And now I had a binge of 4 cookies, and I stopped myself and I said, okay, what's the matter? What do you need? And when I walked it back, it turned out I'd been rejected by somebody, and that was the emotion. That's why I was overeating. And then the food, the want to abuse food was gone. And so that's the difference. It's huge. Back then, dieting and food was probably 90% of my thought process in my life, and now 5% maybe. It's not a concern.
My name is Tina Cole Campbell, and at my heaviest I was 500.6 pounds, and today I'm 160 pounds. At my heaviest, I was eating anything that was around me, in front of me. I didn't care what it was. Ice cream, chips, whatever anybody brought from a fast food restaurant. My health problems started at birth, basically, but they got really bad in 2003. I've been in respiratory failure and on a ventilator 6 different times. When I was 36, the doctors told me, you're not gonna live to be 40. And it took me a little while. I was like, oh, woe is me, that sucks, let me just keep eating. But as I realized what I was missing in my children's life when they were growing up, I thought, you might have grandkids one day. You really do want to live. So that's when I decided to make some changes. And I was gonna have gastric bypass surgery. I had seen a surgeon in Birmingham. And so he said, well, you need to lose about 50 pounds. You need to go to, you need to go see a nutritionist, go to some group therapy with people who are also planning to do this. so that you can talk about the way your body's going to change. And so when I finished my 7 months of therapies and group sessions and seeing a nutritionist and weighing every month and losing about 50 pounds in 7 months, I called the insurance, and I found out that that was not going to be covered. And I threw a pity party for about 3 days, wallowed in my bed, forgot everything that I had been doing the right way, everything that I had been eating. About the 3rd day, there was an aha, get your butt out of bed and go back. You were already doing this, you were already losing weight. You've done this much, keep going, you can do this. And it was just a God thing. So I got out of bed, wiped my tears, threw the trash food away, and went back to what I knew worked for me. There's a county park about 2 miles north of where I live, and so I went up there, and I got some Nikes and decided I'm gonna walk. And I got there and I made it, maybe 50 feet the first day. And I was like, okay, get back to the car, drive home, take a nap. But every day I try to go a little further, as much as my body would let me. And I've gradually worked up to where I walk anywhere from 5 to 9 miles a day, typically around 7 or 8 miles a day. My health is a lot better. I have not been in the hospital since November of 2015. I'm making strides every day. It's progress over perfection. As long as I'm growing every day, I'm learning something every day, then I'm on the track that I want to be on.